El Salvador, a small nation grappling with a large problem gangs. These criminal organizations have deeply embedded themselves into the fabric of society. For years, they held sway, terrorizing communities and instilling fear in the hearts of residents. Now, a new structure rises from the landscape, CECOT, a beacon of the government's resolve. The Center for the Confinement of Terrorism, or CECOT, aims to change the narrative. This mega-prison is no ordinary facility. It stands as a testament to the nation's fight against crime. It is a fortress designed to house the most dangerous criminals, a concrete manifestation of El Salvador's uncompromising stance against gang violence. The security measures here are unparalleled. CECOT is a place where hope goes to die. The atmosphere inside is oppressive, designed to break spirits. It's a symbol of fear, designed to break the will of even the most hardened criminals. The psychological impact is immense. The prison stands as a stark reminder of the lengths to which the government will go to restore order. But at what cost? The ethical implications are profound. The stories from within its walls paint a grim picture, a chilling testament to the prison's severity. Inmates face harsh conditions daily. CECOT is a world unto itself, shrouded in secrecy and controversy. The true extent of its operations remains hidden. It is within these walls that we begin our journey, seeking to understand the reality of this controversial institution. What we uncover may shock you. CECOT is a fortress within a fortress. Imagine towering walls, layers of razor wire, and armed guards watching your every move. Mobile phone signals are jammed within a 1.5-mile radius, cutting off any contact with the outside world. Inside, the control is absolute. Inmates are constantly monitored by thousands of surveillance cameras. Facial recognition software tracks their every step. Even legal visits are conducted virtually, eliminating any chance of physical contact. The level of security is unprecedented, designed to eliminate any possibility of escape or communication. It's a technological and human security apparatus unlike any other. But is it humane? The isolation, the constant surveillance? It's a psychological battleground as much as a physical one. The message is clear. In CECOT, you are utterly alone, cut off from the world and at the mercy of the state. Step inside CECOT, and you enter a world of concrete and steel. The air is thick with tension. The silence, broken only by the clanging of bars and the barked orders of guards, is deafening. Over 40,000 inmates are crammed into cells designed for far fewer. They sleep on thin mats on the floor, with limited access to basic necessities. Sunlight is a luxury, rationed out in 30-minute increments, during which inmates are allowed into a small enclosed courtyard. Medical care is rudimentary at best. Mental health support is virtually non-existent. The conditions are harsh, designed to punish and break the spirit. It is a bleak existence, stripped of even the most basic comforts. Critics argue that these conditions amount to cruel and unusual punishment. The question lingers. Does the pursuit of security justify such a complete disregard for human dignity? El Salvador's homicide rate was once among the highest in the world. Then came President Nayib Bukele and his iron-fisted approach to tackling gang violence. The construction of CECOT was a key part of his strategy. Since the prison's opening, the numbers are striking. Homicides have plummeted. Streets once controlled by gangs are now patrolled by police. But at what cost? Critics argue that the decline in crime is a result of widespread human rights abuses, not just the existence of CECOT. Thousands have been imprisoned without due process, simply suspected of gang affiliation. The fear that once gripped communities now stems from a different source, the government itself. The question remains, has El Salvador traded one form of tyranny for another? Section 5, a controversial proposal, U.S. deportations to CECOT. Just when you thought the story couldn't get any stranger, it took an unexpected turn. The latest development has left many people in shock and disbelief. In early 2025, rumors began to swirl of a controversial deal between the U.S. and El Salvador. This deal, if true, could change the landscape of international criminal justice. The U.S., grappling with its own prison overcrowding crisis, proposed sending convicted criminals to CECOT. This proposal was seen as a potential solution to alleviate the burden on the U.S. prison system. The details are murky, shrouded in diplomatic doublespeak. Both governments have been tight-lipped, leaving the public to speculate. What we do know is that the proposal came from El Salvador, with President Bukele even offering to house U.S. prisoners for a fee. This offer has sparked a heated debate on both sides. The U.S., for its part, hasn't ruled it out. Officials are considering the proposal, weighing the potential benefits and drawbacks. The legal and ethical implications are staggering. This proposal challenges the very foundations of the justice system. Deporting U.S. citizens to serve sentences in a foreign prison, especially one with such a dubious human rights record, is uncharted territory. The potential for human rights abuses is a major concern. The proposal has drawn sharp criticism from human rights groups and legal experts. They argue that it undermines the principles of justice and human dignity. It raises serious questions about sovereignty, accountability, and the very meaning of citizenship. The debate continues with no clear resolution in sight. Section 6. Voices of Concern, International Human Rights Perspectives. From the outset, CECOT has been a lightning rod for criticism from international human rights organizations. Amnesty International has condemned the prison's conditions as inhuman and degrading. Human Rights Watch has documented widespread due process violations, with many inmates lacking access to legal representation. The lack of transparency surrounding the prison's operations only deepens the concern. The international community is watching, and the verdict is clear. CECOT represents a dangerous erosion of human rights principles. The question is, will El Salvador listen? The voices of concern are growing louder, demanding accountability and respect for fundamental rights. The world is watching, and the pressure is mounting on El Salvador to address these concerns. Section 7. Marvin's Tale, a glimpse into CECOT's reality. Marvin Vasquez, a former high-ranking member of the notorious MS-13 gang, knows the reality of CECOT all too well. His journey from the streets to the confines of this high-security prison is a testament to the harsh measures taken by the government. He sits in a dimly lit room, his face etched with the weight of his past. The shadows seem to mirror the darkness that has enveloped his life. "It's like being buried alive," he says, his voice a low murmur. The walls close in and the silence is deafening. The silence, the isolation, it eats you from the inside. Every day feels like an eternity, and the loneliness is a constant companion. Marvin is serving a life sentence for his role in the gang. His days are filled with regret and reflection on the choices that led him here. He has no illusions about his fate. The future is bleak, and hope is a distant memory. "We were like the Titanic, and Bukele, he was the iceberg," he says, a flicker of resignation in his eyes. "He broke us." The analogy is stark, but it captures the devastation felt by many. Marvin's story is just one of thousands within CECOT's walls. Each inmate has a tale of despair and lost dreams. His words offer a chilling glimpse into the human cost of El Salvador's war on gangs. The emotional and psychological toll is immense. It's a stark reminder that behind the statistics, behind the political rhetoric, are real people whose lives have been forever altered. The numbers may be impressive, but the human stories are heartbreaking. Section 8. A delicate balance weighing the costs and benefits. There is no easy answer to the question of CECOT. On one hand, there's the undeniable fact that crime has dropped dramatically in El Salvador. The grip of fear that once paralyzed communities has loosened. But this peace has come at a steep price. The mass incarceration of individuals, often without due process, raises serious ethical questions. The conditions within CECOT, even for those guilty of heinous crimes, are undeniably harsh. The potential for abuse within a system as opaque as CECOT is immense. The line between security and authoritarianism is a thin one, and El Salvador seems to be walking a dangerous tightrope. Is it possible to achieve lasting peace without compromising fundamental human rights? It's a question that El Salvador, and indeed the world, must grapple with as the CECOT experiment continues. Section 9. A legacy yet written. CECOT and the future of justice. CECOT stands as a stark symbol of our times, a time of fear, of uncertainty, and of increasingly draconian measures to combat complex social problems. It's a stark reminder that there are no easy answers in the fight for peace and security. Will it be remembered as a necessary evil, a brutal but effective solution to a seemingly intractable problem? Or will it be seen as a stain on El Salvador's conscience, a testament to the dangers of sacrificing human rights in the pursuit of security? Only time will tell what legacy CECOT will leave behind. But one thing is certain: the debate it has sparked about the nature of justice, the balance between security and freedom, and the very meaning of human rights will continue long after the last inmate has walked through its gates.